Hey there guys, how's it going? Welcome to a video where I'm going to be breaking down every last detail of the new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare trailer, things that I've picked up. Feel free to leave comments down below, anything you think I've missed, but these are just things that I can summarize and conclusions I can come to from some of the images that I've managed to get from this trailer. So there's a lot to talk about, so let's get stuck into it. So first of all, we have Kevin Spacey. It seems like he is the real kind of main character they're revolving this trailer around, and from what I can conclude, I would say he's probably the head of a large private military corporation. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is going to be based around these kind of PMCs, their power that they have, what would happen if they decided to take over some of these developing countries and things like that, instead of just working for the bigger governments, and I think that's going to be the theme of this game. Now, Kevin Spacey is an incredible actor. If you've watched House of Cards, you'll know what a great, dominant, powerful leader he can play. He's got the personality for it, and I think he's just going to do a great job, because he's done a great job. You can see even here from this trailer, they've got a good likeness of him, and like I say, my conclusion is he's probably the head of this PMC, and it's all going to revolve around him and what he wants to do. So one of the most notable things from this trailer was the use of the exoskeleton or nano suit. Obviously this is going to be advanced warfare, so we're talking near future by the looks of it, similar kind of timescale to Black Ops 2, and this suit seems to play a big deal in the game, and I think it's going to have a big effect on gameplay. Now, not only does this suit seem to have the ability to do all the high technological things that you'd expect of it, like there's a stealth kind of option. I'm sure there'll be a stealth mission where you can actually cloak and all that kind of stuff, but it allows your soldier to become a lot more powerful than they ever were before. They can jump faster, they can jump higher, they can actually push things over that you'd never be able to push normally with the increased kind of power that the suit can provide. So throughout this trailer we saw lots of examples of how this suit is going to allow you to do crazy things. Will this suit be in multiplayer? I'm not sure. Possibly as a kill streak, I think it could be okay. If you have this kill streak, then you can jump higher and run faster perhaps, I don't know, but it's definitely, as we can see, going to be in the single player campaign. Now, the next important thing that I noticed is this urban setting we can see right here. It tells us quite a lot about the game, and obviously more importantly a location. On the sign there on the bridge it says keep Lagos clean, and throughout the trailer there's lots of signs saying Lagos and things saying Lagos, so it's definitely going to be based in Nigeria. Lagos is probably, I think it's the most populated city in Nigeria. I don't think it's the capital, and according to Wikipedia it's the second fastest developing city in Africa and the 7th fastest growing city in the world. So this is definitely a developing country, but a very fast developing country, and I can imagine that this is the kind of place that a PMC corporation might want to take advantage of, somewhere with not an incredibly strong military like a superpower such as the US, however somewhere that is going to be thriving and there's lots to take control of. And as we can see from the cars, you can see that kind of near future setting. They look like modern cars, just with kind of slightly futuristic twists to them, different kinds of wheels and stuff. And also there on the top right hand corner we've got a flag. Now that looks like an African flag. There isn't actually any particular African flag. It's not the Nigerian flag, perhaps it's the new Nigerian flag from this game. And when I look this flag up, there are similar versions throughout Africa. I think it's Jordan, United Arab Emirates, and Iraq used to have a similar flag to that in the 1950s, but there's no flag exactly like that. So that's either something from the PMCs, or that's maybe the new flag of Nigeria in this game. Now you can also see here the word Atlas written on one of these nanosuits. You've got to presume that might be the name of the PMC company that Kevin Spacey is in charge of. Obviously can't guarantee that. That might just be the name of the people who make that particular item or equipment in this game, but that's something we might be able to go on. Now let's take a look at the equipment and weapons that we got a quick look at in this trailer. Obviously all of this stuff normally isn't all in multiplayer, but some of it we can presume will be in the multiplayer. Now it was just advanced style weaponry like you'd expect here. We can see an assault rifle that has 2 actual sights on it. I'm not sure what the actual uses of those will be, but it has 2 sights, kind of similar looking to the tracker sight from Ghost. Here we can see a bit of what looks like tactical equipment being thrown here. You can actually get a look at the little center reticle as well, which looks pretty smart. and here we can see the effects of it. It pulsed out this orange glow everywhere, and it seems to be able to track some of the enemies through the surfaces. And then when you aim down sight here with this interesting sight, you can see it's picked up some of the signatures of people. So maybe it's some sort of electronic thermal device which can detect people through walls if you throw and manage to hit them with it. Maybe that will be a multiplayer. I hope there's nothing really like that that's too OP or overpowered, should I say, that is in multiplayer, but it might creep in some form. Here you can see a barrier that's being pulled across for defense, kind of maybe this is the new riot shield. Again, could be a multiplayer. Either way, looks like something fun for single player for sure, and he manages to get behind that and be protected. And again here we've got a kind of a two-sighted weapon. Looks like more of a submachine gun assault rifle hybrid here. Nothing too crazy about it other than it's just kind of a futuristic looking weapon. Now let's take a look at some of the vehicles that were showcased, and there were a lot of vehicles. Obviously advanced futuristic vehicles that aren't quite probably in production yet, but something that we would expect to see in real life in possibly the near future. And the most notable thing about almost all of these weird vehicles were that they all hovered. All of them hovered. There was like hovermobiles, hovercrafts. Here we can see this kind of robot suit. Now that looks really awesome. I'm hoping that that will be a multiplayer kill streak. It seems to have a minigun as well, and I can imagine that being a lot of fun. A big robotic suit that would be really fast and a minigun, and could absolutely tear it up on the battlefield. But for the most part, we just saw a lot of hovering little quad rotors, and obviously larger kind of transport vehicles. We also saw these little hovermobiles, like ski-mobiles. Remember from Modern Warfare 2, they had those fun races, but they weren't in multiplayer, but they were definitely fun in single player. And also we had the what is my favourite from what I saw from the trailer, and what I've dubbed the spider tank. This was a little tank vehicle that looks really kind of deadly. It looked really tough and just awesome to use. So I'm hoping that's going to be a controllable vehicle in single player and multiplayer maybe. So overall, what are my concluding thoughts on this? Am I impressed by it? Am I looking forward to the game? First of all, I'd like to say that the game actually looks incredible graphically. I was expecting that because this is going to be on this new current gen of systems, which hasn't been out too long, and I don't think that they've really utilised yet in the Call of Duty franchise. COD Ghost kind of felt like a bit of a last generation port to the current generation of systems. So graphically, it looks great. I like the idea of advanced warfare. I like the idea of something slightly futuristic, because for me, I always prefer the idea that they can use a bit of artistic license if it's in the future, and they can add things that maybe aren't 100% realistic but could potentially be real in the warfare. I like the idea of the PMCs, the private military corporations. I think it's a good way to go down. It does remind me quite a lot of Metal Gear Solid and the whole Metal Gear franchise, which is a good thing because that's really cool. However, it's not completely original, although I think the idea that PMCs are going to be taking over these developing countries is really interesting. And that's what I see it as. We saw obviously Lagos, we saw some kind of we saw some like kind of forest areas as well, so areas that weren't in the city. Hopefully it's going to be a real mix. I can see it being over perhaps based in mainly Africa and the fastest developing countries in the world. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went to just the fastest developing countries in the world that didn't have incredibly strong militaries and then tried to take them over, then perhaps tried to take on the superpowers at the end. That would be a really cool storyline. What does all this mean for multiplayer? I think multiplayer has huge potential. I'm also slightly concerned that a lot of these things that they think are cool things in single player, which they are, they convert into the multiplayer, but then they become a little bit too imbalanced, like the things like some of these sights and the stealth cloaking technology on nanosuits. I don't want to see that in multiplayer. However, if they balance the multiplayer well, include these cool vehicles, and obviously all this advanced warfare technology, it could be amazing. I'm always an optimist. I always can't wait to see what they've got in store for us. So of course, don't forget to like this video as well if you enjoyed my kind of breakdown of the single player trailer, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already for lots more Call of Duty Advanced Warfare gameplay and information as it becomes available. And I'll see you guys next time.